Welcome to this demonstration of Popeye's eco-design tool, Sustain, in which we will look at packaging. Two types of packaging can be entered. Primary packaging, typically a box in which your display is placed. And secondary packaging, for example, a larger box which might accommodate a number of smaller boxes. If you have no packaging, click here and move to the next section. Packaging is added in exactly the same way as display components, i.e. by individual components by material. To enter a packaging component, click here. Start by entering the component name, which is free text. You will then need to say whether a component is new, lightly refurbished, heavily refurbished, or reused, and then select material used. You then need to enter the weight of the material in the packaging component, its recycled content, and the number of components per display. This is the number of components per individual display and not the total number of components in the production run. Depending on the material you have selected, you may have the option of adding one or more processes used in the fabrication of the component. Depending on the processes selected, you may need to add some additional information, such as weight removed or area printed or painted. In the case of where the energy used in the process is related to the weight of the material used, the weight will be pre-populated. You will also need to record the distance the material or component has travelled from your supplier to the point of manufacture, together with which particular transport method or methods are used. You may enter these in either miles or kilometres. For further information on how to calculate these distances, please contact sustainability@popeye.co.uk. Any notes you may want to add about the component can be added here. If you want to add a number of similar components, you can copy an existing one and edit it accordingly. Once you've added all your components, you can review them here. You will need to indicate how many displays fit into the primary packaging. For example, how many displays will be put in each box. The volume of the primary packaging component, in this instance, the dimensions of the box, should then be entered, and how many times the packaging is being used. If you don't have any secondary packaging, you can ignore this section. However, if you do, for example, have a larger box into which smaller boxes are placed, or perhaps a pallet, then these details are entered here, in the same way as primary packaging. If you are using a pallet, please do not actually enter the pallet details. This is because pallets are large, heavy, and can have a disproportionate effect on the results. They are also continuously reused and then recycled. However, other components associated with palletization, such as shrink wrap, do need to be added. The exception is if you have a bespoke pallet, which is an unusual shape and is therefore unlikely to be reused. In this instance, you would enter the pallet details. You then need to say how many primary packaging components fit into your secondary packaging, what the volume of the secondary packaging is, and how many times the secondary packaging is used. The tool will then calculate the weight of all your packaging and also look at the ratio between the volume of your display for shipping compared to its packaging. In this instance, the box is slightly bigger than the display, is what you would expect. However, if this figure were 5 or 10, this is an immediate indication that perhaps too much packaging is being used and that material could be saved. Please remember to click Save once you have entered your data. If you have any queries about packaging components, please contact Popeye at sustainability@popeye.co.uk. Thank you for watching.